How is everyone doing today? I want to bring you a video talking about the future updates of Anime Vanguards and what characters could come with that. Basically, I want to talk about the chances of these updates getting added into the game. I'm going to make a scale 1 through 5 of the chance of them actually making it into the game. So let's just say Dragon Ball Z, right? That's not going to be on this list, but for example, Dragon Ball Z, I give it a 3.5. It has a 3.5 out of 5 chance to get into the game. This video is mainly just for fun and not to be taken super seriously. I have no knowledge if these updates are actually going to come to the game. This is all just me speculating and having fun. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments too. What's an anime that you really want in Anime Vanguards, or it could even be a game. Just something you really want to see in Anime Vanguards. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I plan to do a face reveal probably around 10,000 or 15,000 subscribers, and if you guys want to help me get towards that number, make sure you subscribe. It helps a lot. So first, I'm going to go through the 2 updates that I want to see in Anime Vanguards, and then past that, we'll talk about the ones that the community really wants. So personally, my number 1 anime I really want to see in Anime Vanguards is probably going to be Chainsaw Man. Now, Chainsaw Man just had the giant Reze arc movie, which did phenomenal. A lot of people saw it. It put a lot of people onto Chainsaw Man, and I think it's a very hot trending topic right now. So I think that is a big push for them to want to do it. Obviously, it's a little scary because of copyright, but basically all on these lists are gonna have that same problem. I think Chainsaw Man could be a really fun update depending on what they do. I think the only problem they're going to run into is they can literally only do 2 things. They can only do the first arc with the Katana Man, or they can do Reze. So they really just have 2 options of what they actually can do, because I doubt they want to do manga stuff. But I think a Chainsaw Man update would be pretty straightforward. I think it could work as a big update and a 0.5 update. I'd love to see Power, Denji, Makima, Reze, Kobini, a lot of people. Himeno. I'd love to see all of these guys get put into the game. I think personally, if they do a Chainsaw Man update, this should be a big update. This should not be a little update. But next on my list that I want to do as an update or see it someday is going to be Sword Art Online. I know a lot of people don't like this anime, or it's unpopular for a lot of people, or they hate it, but for me, it was one of the first animes I've ever watched when I was a kid. And I think every time it's added to a anime tower defense game, they do pretty fun updates for it. And I think SAO has so much, because it's just such a big franchise, that there's so many things you could do. Now, I think you should do the first season of Sword Art Online if you are going to do SAO as an update, and I think it's most likely going to be a 0.5 update. I'm sure you could argue SAO into being a really big update as well, but I think 0.5 is a nice little comfortable update size for Sword Art Online. And I actually think there's a lot of characters you can do. We'd obviously get Kirito, we'd obviously get Asuna, and maybe the villain of SAO Season 1, and that's really it. If it's a 0.5, which I think it would be, I think we'd probably just get those 3 characters, maybe Sinon, but that's really it. Now, branching away from the 2 ones I really want, I'm just gonna throw this in as a little bonus, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, my favorite anime of all time. In my personal opinion, I think it's the greatest anime of all time. I'd love to see it in some way into this game, whether that's a battle pass or a super small update. I think a battle pass would be great. Just do Edward and Alphonse for the battle pass. Be awesome. Now, let's jump into the big boys. Now, these are the big animes that people really want to see in Anime Vanguards. I'm just going to start off with the biggest one. And One Piece, I mean, since the game's come out, people have been begging for this to be put into it. Do I think One Piece should be in the game? 100%, without a doubt, it should be in the game. And if they do a One Piece update, it should be a big update. I don't think there should be any even debate if it should be that or not. But that leads us to the actual next question of what would the update be? So One Piece obviously has a crap load of arcs, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I don't think they would do a Marineford update because literally everyone does that, but if they do, it'll still be extremely exciting. Get stuff like Whitebeard and Ace and Akainu, but I think they should branch into doing something not a lot of people have done. You could do Water 7, you could do Enies Lobby, You could do Dressrosa, Skypiea, you can even do Egghead. I think all these would be great update ideas for One Piece. And obviously when you would get that One Piece update, it would just be the whole entire crew and then whatever the villain of that arc. I think One Piece needs to be in Anime Vanguards. And I'm not even a huge One Piece fan saying that. It's just one of those pillars of anime, and it just needs to be in this game as an update. Following that though, this is probably going to be the second most wanted anime people want as an update in Vanguards, and that's going to be Naruto Shippuden. People have been begging for this alongside One Piece. I'd say people have been begging for it longer than they have been for the One Piece update, but I think Shippuden would be an awesome update for Anime Vanguards. I don't know how their update schedule works. I don't know if they just do whatever's most popular or if they do whatever they want to do, but Shippuden has a bunch of cool stuff you can do from it. If you're asking me what I would want the most if they were doing a Shippuden update, I would say I would want them to do the Great Ninja War. You could say what you want to say about that arc, but the character selection for that would be amazing. You would have so many cool characters to do. You'd have Naruto in his Paths mode, you'd have Sasuke. We obviously already got Kaguya, you'd have Tobi, Madara. Tons of characters can slide into that Naruto update, and I would love to see it. Obviously, Naruto would also probably be a big update. I think you could maybe debate it being a small update, but I think alongside with One Piece, it just has to be a big update. That's just how it works. Now, I'd say the third most requested anime I've seen for Anime Vanguards is probably going to be JoJo Bizarre Adventure. I've seen people beg for this forever, man. People want this in the game so bad. It's completely warranted. It's JoJo. It is insanely popular, especially in this day and age. It's just getting more and more popular, and people really want to see it. But that brings us to what part would they do? So I'm just going to throw this in with Naruto and One Piece where I could see it being a big update or a small update. If you're unaware, JoJo actually already had an update, but it was a mini 0.5 update for Steel Ball Run Part 7. And I think they said they want to do Part 7 again at some point whenever the anime drops. So we're going to ignore Part 7 here, and we're going to pick from any other part of which one could be added into the game. Now, I think the most obvious choice is going to be Part 5. I think that's just the most popular part. That's personally not the one I would want. Personally, I would want JoJo probably Part 6 or Part 2, or even Part 4. I think the three of those could be really fun updates. And just like the last ones, you'd get all the main characters from that part, just everyone you've come to love. And I think that would all tie together and make a really fun update. Like I said, I could see that going both ways for a 0.5 or a big 0.0 update, but I think that'd be a really fun update regardless. Now, what are some animes I've seen thrown around to getting an update? These ones that I'm gonna say real quick are ones I'm not gonna do big cover like for these previous ones. I'm just gonna say it quick and we're gonna move on. But I've seen Demon Slayer thrown around a lot, especially because of this new movie and the Infinity Castle arc that's currently getting animated. A lot of people are really enjoying it right now. It's a little dangerous because of copyright, but that could be a future option for them. One I've seen always is Dragon Ball. Even though we have already gotten 2 Dragon Ball updates already, Dragon Ball is just one of those animes that you can always like anchor. It's always going to do well, and it's always going to get people interested. I think doing a Cell Saga update could be really cool, and I see people's vision. I've seen a lot of people ask for Jujutsu Kaisen, because to be fair, that update is kind of old, and a lot of stuff has happened in JJK since then. So I think that's actually not a bad idea. I've also seen some people ask for Black Clover. That's probably one of the least likely ones, but I can see it at some point. And I've also seen a lot of people ask for a Hunter x Hunter update. Hunter x Hunter, I would love to see in the game. Not a lot of games do that as well, so I'd love to see Hunter x Hunter get added, and I'd love to have a good adaptation of it. I feel like Anime Last Stand and Anime Adventures kind of did a boring update for it, so I would love to see them do something unique with Hunter x Hunter. And then finally, the last one I've seen thrown around quite a bit is another Bleach update. Bleach has so many arcs that you could do so many things. Ulquiorra is the one that comes to mind. I think that'd be a really fun update, but I think that's going to wrap up today's video. If you were watching this to try and figure out what next update's going to be, aka 9.5, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be a fall event, because of stuff they've said in the past, so be prepared for that. We're probably going to get a Vanguard with it too, maybe. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for these possible animes that could come to Anime Vanguards. Obviously, with them doing the non-DMCA models, this has opened up the path a lot for them, and they have so many more things that they can do now. And if you guys have any animes that I didn't mention, I didn't want this video to be 40 hours, let me know down in the comments, right? I'll respond to them, I'll read them, and with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.